Baby shark. Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. We are live from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. Bailey and Rudo coming to you as the Avs are on a Sega Baba, taking on the San Jose Sharks in San Jose. Obviously, Avs coming off of a great win against Vegas, but Mackenzie Blackwood back in net for the Colorado Avalanche, actually playing a meaningful hockey game.
Thank God. I feel like we've been waiting forever to say this.
Yeah, I think we're expecting a little bit of rust from Blackwood, maybe trying to temper expectations, but is this a win no matter what that the Avs are getting Blackwood back, or do we need to see the Avs go out and win a hockey game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of those both questions again. Yeah. I mean, you want the win no matter what, but considering that the guy you were expecting to be your starter is now back in the lineup has to be huge for this team. Again, considering, Scott Wedgwood's been incredible.
Yeah.
He's had some great games. He's also had some rusty ones. So to take a little bit of the pressure load off of that, but to also, that's something Mackenzie Blackwood can look for down the stretch as well, is knowing how well Scott Wedgwood can perform in net. I don't know. I don't want to go as far as to say we see some of that load taken off of Blackwood down the road. I do think, just again, given how Bednar deploys his starters, he's going to get the vast majority of those. But that pressure's off of him now, knowing that he's got a solid backup. This is easily becoming one of the top tandems in the league.
We saw Blackwood back up the last two games. It certainly feels like they targeted this San Jose game for him to come back in.
Little revenge game.
Is it a revenge game? Because on one hand, it feels like, all right, San Jose's not a very good team. They should be pretty beatable. But they do have Celebrini, Eklund, Smith at the top of that lineup. There is some offensive firepower there.
Absolutely some offensive firepower. And I'd say if they left on bad terms, that'd be one thing for a revenge game. That was just kind of the Sharks are doing what they need to do. The Avalanche are doing what they need to do. Obviously, Georgiev was not working out. So there doesn't seem to be a lot of bad blood here, but Mackenzie Blackwood's on a really, really good Avalanche team, a really good team, period.
Yes.
I'd need to go back and look at some of his stats with his previous teams, but this seems like the best team that he has been on thus far. And
yeah, I think so. Some of those New Jersey teams were supposed to be good, but then weren't.
Whatnot. Yeah. Whatever happened. Yeah. So there's, I think, not a lot of expectation for Mackenzie Blackwood here. Yes, the expectation is to get the win. It's the expectation night in, night out, regardless of who your goaltender is.
Gonna be to get the win, yeah.
The expectation here is that there's going to be some rust. You're looking for him to get back on his feet. Yes, they have some offensive firepower, but if there's a game in this back-to-back series for him to get back and kind of get back on his feet, I'd rather it have been tonight than last.
For sure. You don't want him to get blown up by a good team. And
no.
Obviously, last night worked out, so
you're right.
Wouldn't change a thing given on the result. But
right.
The other bit of news before we really dive into this matchup, seems like Taylor McCarr's going to play.
Yeah, that's it. Not a big fan of Brenly being out if he needs to get the rest and heal and whatnot. I know he took that large hit last game, which was... I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out, I guess, how I feel about it. But
I think it was mostly clean, to be honest with you.
That's where I'm leaning. But if you're getting a guy like that the rest, and I don't know if McCarr would have been my call-up. This seems more sentimental than anything, which is really cool because you get to see two McCarr brothers on the ice.
Yeah, it's a cool moment.
Yeah, cool moment for them to be able to play in an NHL game together.
And, nothing, like, I'm not saying Taylor McCarr, rather, hasn't earned it. He has. He's played well with the Eagles. There are other guys I would have called up before him, but I'm not too pressed.
No.
This is your 12th forward. Let's be honest, Jared Benner's going to play that fourth line 5 minutes tonight, so it's not like there's going to be a ton of ice time there.
Again, we saw with the quote-unquote regulars how much he played them last game, too.
Yeah.
Again, this team is not the Vegas Golden Knights, so
they are not.
There's something to be said about that, but also, I'm not expecting a whole lot of minutes from this fourth line tonight.
So it's kind of one of those, call up Taylor McCarr or Ivan or whoever you called up. It's not like
it's a sentimental
make
moment,
a significant
leave it
difference.
at that.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. Happy for him. Hopefully he proves me wrong and scores goals and everything goes great.
Wouldn't that be a game?
A McCarr to McCarr score
get
line.
Each McCarr brother a goal. I'll be happy.
That's the actual goal of this game, not beating the Sharks. No, of course, the Avs are trying to win. They're trying to go perfect on the back-to-back and get another winning streak going here. I'm not going to beat around the bush. The Sharks are bad. Yes, they might have some fun talent, but they are not a good hockey team for the NHL by any stretch of the imagination. They're 3-6-2 on the year. This is a team the Avs should beat. It's a little bit of a weird schedule situation. The Sharks have a back-to-back tomorrow, so they're on the front half of that while the Avs are on a back half of one. So there's a little bit of, I don't know, management from the Sharks' legs or something, maybe, depending on how this game goes. Colorado really, though, should have the check mark in every aspect of this game, right?
They're a speedy team versus a not very good team. I don't know, as though I have much more to say in that regard. This is a team on paper the Avalanche should dominate.
Yes.
If they can do what they did against a okay New Jersey team on Tuesday, the expectations are high here for a win. With that said, I think on the other side of it, there is something to be said about management and them being the more rested team.
Yeah,
true.
I know we've talked about this a couple times before, but I do think the approach is a little bit different. When you're talking about maybe a weaker team like San Jose, the Avs are coming into this off of probably two of their best games of the season, depending on how you want to look at them. 8 goals in a game is great, and a solid win against Vegas is great. What are you focusing in on if you're Colorado tonight on a back-to-back? Is there something specific you feel like this team needs to do to get this win?
Simplified hockey would I think be my answer. There's playing 2 good games and then running into a matchup that maybe is not as good as the 2 games or not as good team-wise during the 2 games you just played. Not playing down to your opponent, I think, is huge. Yeah. And just simplified hockey. Don't let this game get out of control. Make sure your passes are clean. Make sure your transitions are clean. Make sure there's not make sure the communication is good. Yep. And you have everything in place to beat this team. I think if, things start getting a little fancy, I don't want to discount the Sharks in that sense, though, too. Yes, they are a bad hockey team, but they're still a team in the NHL full of, grade A talent, considering
they can win on any given night,
right.
For sure.
And again, as we like to say, hockey's a weird sport. So this is this team has talent to potentially pick apart a bad moving Colorado Avalanche team. So simplified hockey. Make sure your passes are clean. Make sure you're doing all of the right things, and you've got everything in place you need to go and take care of business tonight. I keep saying tonight, 2 o'clock, but
if they're playing, it's tonight. All right, any game day is a tonight. That's where I'm at with it. With Blackwood and net, how much of an adjustment do you want the Avs defense to make? Because you kind of walk that line, right? Of you want to support your goalie. You're expecting a little bit of rust. You want to help him out, but also you don't want to completely overhaul your defensive structure to protect a guy, because that can lead to unusual situations. I'll put it that way.
I will say, The one game that Trent Miner started, I kind of went into that thinking that the Avalanche would put down kind of like a shutdown, don't let many pucks get to the net. And they didn't really do that either. Like, they trusted Miner to make some of those saves that he needed to. And, granted, one of those was soft. You'd like to see that from a more experienced goaltender. Truth is, he's not. And but they still had that trust in him to do what he needed to do, to be the guy in the crease to take care of business if that's, the goal. I think that's a similar situation they go into this with Blackwood. Obviously, if Blackwood is starting tonight, he feels good about his game. Like, he's feeling good about, quality of whatever injury he was dealing with being taken care of. This team is working well. Things are gelling. Defensively, defense has looked, barring injury, the best that it needs to right now. It's doing what it needs to do. I think as long as they continue to do that tonight, trust that Mackenzie Blackwood can go and make the big save.
I hope he can. I think the Avs could be potentially taking another step forward in their season here with getting Blackwood back. We've talked a lot about they are a good team, but these pieces are starting to come back now, and I don't think the Avs lack confidence by any stretch of the imagination, but Blackwood there could give them that little bit more that it's like, all right, we can really start getting into our breakouts and setting ourselves going north even more than we already have. So,
which would be a crazy concept considering they're already doing a really, really good job at that.
They are. They've been really puck dominant this season so far, especially at 5-on-5, which kind of leads us into our next topic. Are special teams even more important in a second game of a back-to-back? Is there that little bit of extra juice that you need from those, or is the special teams maybe even a bit of a scary proposition, given the Avs power play hasn't been that bad and tired legs on a penalty kill can be sketchy?
I think they're important on any given night.
Sure.
On the second game of a back-to-back, last night there was not much called in Colorado's favor, so they didn't get much of an opportunity to see how that power play is working. I think it is important if you get more than 1.25 looks tonight or whatnot, that it needs to look better. And I guess that's my goal for this game. Obviously, I'd like puck to go in net, right?
But it's always nice.
If they can clean up on some of the things that maybe did not look great during their main opportunity yesterday, like that's really all I'm looking for out of any opportunity they get today. Yeah, tired legs are, what they are.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about the PK being depleted or anything like that. They've been good after being in use during games like this as well. So I'm not really worried about that.
When you look at the shape of this game, you have your typical second game of a back-to-back. You want the Avs to get out to a lead early. You want them to maintain that lead and make their lives easier. Are the Sharks a team the Avs can actually do that against, or do you think this one is going to be a close game? The Avs might have to fight through it a little bit.
Because of that second game weirdness, I do expect this to be maybe a closer game than people might be expecting it to be. Obviously, on a regularly scheduled night, I'd say, give me Avalanche, 6-2 or whatnot. Like
sure.
that'd be, the hope in a game like this, right? But with the second game of a back-to-back, with it being a 2 p.m. game, matinee weirdness being thrown on top of that, following Halloween, I don't know. I do expect this to be a closer game just with, I don't know, maybe some mismanagement, them being the more tired of the two teams.
Yeah, you never know.
No.
The Avs are the type of team that can drop the 7 spot on any given night, but it does feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult than what maybe some people are expecting out of the Sharks. And I do want to kind of get into the Avs lineup comparison here, because we talked about the Sharks' top guys. They're putting up offensive numbers. They're doing good stuff. Obviously, the Avs are great, and you want MacKinnon and Natchez to be the better of those two lines. But it does seem like the Avs should have an opportunity when you get into your depth. You're going to have your second line going up against guys like Alex Winberg, guys like Jeff Skinner, maybe that's more third line. Ty Dellandrea on the Sharks' third line.
Yeah.
There are opportunities for, I would say, especially the Landy, Drury, Olofsson line against a team like the Sharks, who probably just lack a little bit of depth, if we're being honest about it.
That's the reality of their situation, though. Like given what they're trying to do with their team, they're trying to kind of rebuild into.
No one's expecting them to be competitive this year. Yeah.
No.
But it's important, especially on a night where you're going to probably try and balance those minutes a bit. You need the third line or your bottom six or your depth or whatever you want to call it to show up and probably help you out a little bit tonight.
That's if only half of the bottom six plays as much as we're hoping them to. I don't know. I'm not worried about the bottom six. I mean, Jack Drury kind of leading that line has been phenomenal. I'd almost like during a game like this, if it ends up kind of getting, like Colorado starts to take more in hand, I would like to see more of a Zakhar Bardakov play a couple more minutes and contribute, or at least learn to contribute in the way Jared Bednar expects his players to. But yeah, I don't know. Depth is not an issue for me in this game, I think.
And if the Avs do a good job, if they get out to a multi-goal lead, maybe you can find more minutes for that bottom line. Maybe you can not worry too much, or it's not a trust situation for Jared Bednar.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up, is in a game like this where ideally you want to get most of the game in hand early, that trust obviously is not there.
Yeah,
for that
doubt.
Fourth line. Yesterday was not the first time we've seen this. Yeah. That him kind of cutting the bench the way that he has, or shortening the bench the way that he has. I'd like to see him avoid doing that today. Now, obviously, they do kind of play down to their opponent a little bit, start to lose this game. I don't expect much. But if you're looking for a situation where you can deploy all four lines in a manner in which you trust them to perform, I'd like to see that happen more today.
Defensive side feels like it's stepped up quite a bit over the last couple of games, especially in the production department. Is there a defenseman you want to see more out of, though, across maybe in a game like this where, hey, the Sharks are a team you can take advantage of and play a guy that isn't Cale Makar a little bit more or something like that?
I say, I'd like to see more out of this guy. Reality is he's playing a lot of those minutes with Makar. Devon Toews, I'd love to see him officially get on the board with a goal today.
That would be nice, yeah.
I'd like to see a little bit more out of Josh Manson today, too. Not going to lie.
I think it's a weird conversation with Manson, right? Because it feels like he's doing a lot, but then the production isn't really there, and he'll be prone to the big mistakes. So what is that a lot actually accomplishing?
Right.
Yeah.
I think the points that he's produced so far, like the one goal that he had was a freaking rocket.
Yeah.
Like he's had the points that he's produced have been good points. There just haven't been many of them. The other side of that, though, too, is he's contributing in a lot of different ways. Like, his role on defense is not to be the highest scoring defenseman.
For sure.
But in a game like this, where it wouldn't be weird to me to see contribution from everybody, I'd almost like to see a little bit more of that out of Josh Manson today, if possible.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I always ask these questions, but also at the end of the day, you'll take it from anywhere, right? No need to be picky about these things when you're trying to win hockey games. It doesn't actually matter.
If Ned just goes up and puts up 3 points and you're not getting much from your bottom or your second pair defenseman, I'm not going to be complaining.
Nate just puts up 3 points again. I'm stamping that contract as the best in the league at that point. The immediate.
Oh, yeah.
Here is a fun stat from Brendan McNicholas from the Avs PR department. Makar and Makar are the first set of brothers to appear in the same game for the Colorado Avalanche. So, first brothers for the Avs ever. Franchise-wise, the Stastnys, of course, also did it in Quebec. So, kind of an elite club that they're joining there with the Stastny clan.
Now, as much as, you want to see Taylor perform and do it well, that sentimental aspect of it, being able to do it in this game especially, I mean, think about it. If Brendan doesn't go down, this doesn't happen today. But to be able to do it against a team that you can beat.
For sure.
Being the Avalanche. To be able to get Taylor McCarr in for that game, sentimental, you focusing on that sentimental side of it. It is really, really cool. And I'm sure a moment Taylor especially, is very, very excited for. I mean, we all know Cale Makar is a professional, but I remember talking to Taylor about, playing with his brother growing up, and he had a smile on his face the entire time. He loved those situations with his brother. So I'm sure getting to do this in the NHL is just like a highlight reel type moment for him.
I don't want to take away from Taylor's moment because he deserves all the credit. This is his first NHL game. He's earned his way here. But the conversation swirling around this call-up is, well, they got Marty Necas signed.
Yeah.
Is this step one to making Cale Makar happy for his next contract?
I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I think it's certainly... I think just having him in the organization is like having your brother in the vicinity is a really, really cool thing, especially given how close they were growing up. I mean, if you can get a Cale Makar deal done for a lot cheaper, if you've got his brother around, great. Or if that's, signing incentive, I think keeping him around, at least in the organization, would be, that first step. But I don't think it matters that much.
The joke I was running with was they told Cale if he leads defensemen in scoring by the end of October, they'll give his brother a game. So Here we are.
Okay, there we go. Taylor McCarr, you're welcome.
Always got to look out for little bro,
Okay. I love that if that's not that that's the incentive at all.
Definitely made up by me for sure.
Absolutely,
100%.
but the idea of that is hilarious to me.
Look, I keep waiting for these fire wagon hockey games to happen. I guess you could call the New Jersey one fire wagon a little bit. It felt a little bit like in spurts the Avs scored 5, the New Jersey scored 4. It wasn't punch for punch, really. Is San Jose a team you can get into that with? Can you open it up a little bit against this team, or are you looking more for a lockdown game with Blackwood like you mentioned?
I keep going back and forth with this, I think, just because of the situation that they're in. If this is, they had a break yesterday and can go into this fully rested, I may be on the let's free for all this
Might
thing.
be on just blow them out on that one.
Let's do this thing. Let's take care of business quickly and go home. Again, this being the back half of a back-to-back, them being the less rested team, you've got a situation where your best fourth line guy, or at least one of the two, is one that has been a kind of highlight for me personally.
Sure.
Is out, and you're getting a new guy in. I don't know if I expect punch for punch, but I do expect it to be closer, I guess, is the way that I want to put this.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
The Sharks are in a weird spot, right? Because I've been sitting here on the show being like, yeah, they're not a very good team. And I think that's true, but they're also on the upswing, right? They're a better team than they were last year. They're a team that in a couple of years could be back to being a good team again. But these are the types of teams that, look, if the Avs lose this game, I'm not going to melt down about it.
No.
But they're the type of teams that the best teams in the league should regularly beat.
Yeah. And that's why I'm trying to keep expectations somewhat high with this one, just because of that. This should be a team that you can take care of business against.
Yeah.
Reality of the Avs situation, though, they've already got the 2 points out of the back-to-back.
They do.
So if they
this is kind of a bonus.
Yeah, if this game ends up maybe not going the way that they want it to, I'm sure this is a team we should have beaten, but also we got 2 points. Let's go home, finally get maybe more than one off day and do this.
And that goes both ways, knowing they have 2 off days, right? Is okay. They have 2 off days, so there's nothing to save it for.
Right.
Empty the tank all the way in this game. And in fact, they get 2 off days, they play a game, and then they get 3 more days off. Yeah. So lots of rest coming up for this team.
No practice tomorrow, so there's no expectation to be back out on the ice. And, things we need to work on, they can save that for Tuesday if that's, or Monday, if that's what needs to happen. Like,
Sure.
this should be okay, we're going all in. Let's take advantage of this and then take advantage of our day tomorrow.
There you go. Taking advantage, often the key in Sega Babas. Let's get into our crystal ball, Bailey. Give me a score. Give me a name. What do you got for tonight?
Give me 4-2.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to be my say it until it happens situation now. Give me Gabe Landeskog.
I like it. It feels like a good night for Gabe to
Yeah.
get one. I would say that for sure. And against a team like the Sharks, he should have some opportunity. I'm going to go 3-0.
Whoa, big
I'm saying
game for Mackenzie
Blackwood
Blackwood.
shows out. He's ready to go.
Whoa.
It's all good in the hood. That's what I'm going with on that.
Okay.
Goal scorer. Give me Olofsson.
Okay.
I'm sticking with my third line pick.
Back on the board.
Yeah, I'm going with that. I did take somebody else in my pregame picks, though, which we do have here. And, of course, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Jump in. I've been doing pretty well. I don't know if I trust my bets tonight, though. You might want to pick your own bets.
I mean, you had good ones yesterday.
They did work yesterday. Well, I didn't do any. Brent Burns had good bets yesterday. That's took the Avs to win the first 10 minutes. That's plus 200. Again, I take that every back-to-back because that's how the recipe for a win often is the Avs getting over the hump early and being in the right spot that way. But I took Arturi Lehkonen to score as well. It's time to get point number 300, Lecky. I want to post this graphic already on Twitter. let me post this thing.
Please.
And
It's
then-
been how many games?
Yeah, it's been like 4 or 5 games. It
We're
feels
waiting.
like these milestones, players always get hung up on them. They're always good for a couple of games where they don't score once they know they need to hit a milestone. And then I did take the over on saves with Blackwood. I do think the Sharks have enough offensive firepower that he's going to get tested tonight. We'll see how much rust there is, but he's going to have to make some saves. So,
All right.
go get with Bet365. Use the DNVR 365 code to make your bets. And, of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER today. Winding down the pregame show here with puck drop just about 10 minutes away. Details. I think there's a reality when tiredness sets in on a back-to-back. Your details probably aren't going to be quite as tight as you would like them to be, but that doesn't mean they're not important. When you're looking at those, what do you want to see? I'll ask you 3 things.
Okay.
What is the most important tonight? Physicality, face-offs, or willingness to, I don't know what to call it like in one word, but things like blocking shots, selling out. Let's go with selling out. Physicality, face-offs, or selling out.
Oh, gosh. I feel like I have to go selling out here.
Okay.
It's the most you can do to help out Blackwood, I think, is the important thing here. Being defensively sound and building off of that, I think, is going to be the most important detail to work on here. And it's something that they, again, have shown that they're willing to do.
Yeah.
Last game especially, I kept looking at Jack Drury, and I'm like this. If you're gonna build that off of anybody, build it off of a guy like Jack Drury or Parker Kelly. And that's kind of where I'm sitting. If you can do that and do that well, the rest of the game will come. It'll get there eventually, but that needs to be your foundation in a game like tonight.
I'm with it. You always hope the Avs show up in a game and execute perfectly and everything goes great, but in the parts of the game where a little bit of that sloppiness sets in, you need some of that mentality. So hopefully the Avs are doing the right things tonight, and hopefully they get rewarded for them. Sharks, on the other hand, I don't know. I would like the Avs to beat the Sharks, and I would never have to think about them again. That is where I'm at with San Jose.
Is that your Dallas mentality?
That's
with
Bednar's
Bednar's?
Dallas' mentality, for which, like, yeah, I would love to beat the Stars and never think about them again, too. But I know that's
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Is that your like Bednar with the Stars equivalent?
I don't think it's quite like that. Like, I get where Bednar's coming from with the Sharks. It's more of a like, you're not worth caring about.
Whoa, okay.
In a couple of years when you're good, I'll start thinking about you again.
That's amazing. Okay,
So,
fair.
and don't get me wrong, I love Macklin Celebrini. He's awesome, but the Sharks are still not that good. So
No.
hopefully the Avs prove that through tonight. We're going to wrap up our pregame show. We appreciate you all watching. Join us for the watch along where Micah will be hopping on. Actually, I think we got like a full house for the watch along today. It's going to be a fun one. So tune into that. And then, of course, join us for the postgame where we will break down this game. No matter what happens, I will have to think about the Sharks a little bit more.
At least for the rest of the, or for the next couple hours.
Yeah, at least for today.
And then we can worry about it later.
This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show, and we will see you in a few minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.